Hi, loves. So, the theme this month at her mystery school is that there's nothing wrong with you. And I thought, in honor of that, we could have a few moments together in sanity around all of the crazy pants stuff that's going on in our world and the intensity of the transformation that we are being consistently surrounded by, affected by, and asked to navigate. So, in terms of there's nothing wrong with you, when we were sitting with it, what we were noticing is that there are these kind of three statements that a lot of women especially have internalized via, the inherited degradation and isolation and kind of orphaned wisdom culture experience that we've had. Those three statements are, I've failed, it's my fault, and there's something wrong with me. So how those play out in terms of what's happening in the bigger world right now is that we are each right now navigating this very delicate balance between our realm, what we can touch, what's ours to hold, and the bigger picture. There's more and more an awareness, knowing that we are really connected to everything else that's happening. That is amazing on one level and completely annihilating on another, and not in a good way, because what happens if we bind and disperse too much into the collective and into the kind of the greater human species story is that we lose the consolidation, the intimacy, and the potency of our personal energy and the ability to really tend to the realm that's right in front of us. So there's a balance being asked. And because a lot of us women especially have internalized statements like I've failed and it's my fault, there's something wrong with me, and also I should be doing more, a lot of us are blowing ourselves out right now. There is no way to fix everything that's going on. It's a big, complicated, mysterious process with a lot of miracles in it and a lot of brutality in it. It is full of paradox. It's not fixable. And all it is walkable. We can walk through it the best that we can. And so I wanted to spend a little time about how are you gonna keep yourself strong and clear? How are you gonna honor what's yours to hold and let go of what's not yours to hold? What's yours to tend and what is not for you to tend? How are you going to raise up and nourish and absorb and drink in and receive the good that's being given in the face of all that may seem to be going wrong? How are you going to find the golden thread that's going to get you and each one of us through the walk that's in front of us? Because we are in the mystery now, big time. And it's not like a pretty unicorns and fairy tales mystery. It's the mystery of radical, bewildering transformation planet-wide, right? I'm not telling you anything you don't know. So with that in mind, I reached a semi-crisis point myself around that had a lot to do with the fact that when I look out in the world and try to understand what to believe or what to know or just even what to think sometimes, the extent to which, no matter what direction I look, there's really convincing evidence or a convincing argument or people who are completely just so confident that they're right on every end of every spectrum. It was confusing me. I was having a very difficult time understanding where to place myself, my values, my thoughts, my choices. And when I asked for help about it, what I heard is that it's actually not my job, and it's not even possible for me to always know what to believe. I will not know what to believe. I will not always, and often, I will not know what's true. However, I can always know who I serve. I can't always choose who I serve. And for me, there was a huge relief in that and a greater intimacy with God, whatever you want to call that, a greater intimacy with my own soul, and a sense of relief and actual power. Like, I'm not at the place yet where I can control myself, all my emotions, everything that moves through my being. I'm not there yet, if I ever get there. But I can make choices about who I serve, no matter what's going on. So if I've got a bunch of rage or grief or terror moving through me, and there's a bunch of crazy stuff going on around me, none of which I feel like I can control or really even understand in a certain moment, for me, what's been helping is to come back to this core place of, but I do know who I serve. I do know what I serve. And in that, I can locate, orient myself, and make choices forward. And have a different kind of sense of what's right and what's wrong. It's not from here. It's not from thinking and knowing and figuring out what's going on and what should be done and what's true and which conspiracy is crap and which conspiracy is a revelation and all of that. It's none of that. I mean, it is a shit show of veiling and unveiling and a feint within a feint within a feint. I mean, forget it. We're not going to figure that out. But underneath of that for me is this place of like, well, I know what's right is going to come from here, and it's going to come from even lower down for me as a woman. Where is my root? Where is my this that lives in me that knows how to create and sustain life and knows how to release life and knows how to transform and cycle? What does it have to offer me in the upwelling of wisdom that is beyond circumstance, wisdom that is greater than circumstance, has a wider view that includes what's ancient in me and that includes all of what every woman has had to as her resource to face what's in front of her. So we can't always we can't always know what to believe. We can always choose who we serve and always what we listen to. So if it resonates with you, it's like, where's your heart? Where's your womb? And can you know that it's just enough to really get close to who and what you serve? Do you serve love? Do you serve care? Do you serve honesty in the moment? Do you serve the nourishment of your own being so that you can be of nourishment to others? Who do you serve? And let that be where your vow is. And keeping your vow will be part of finding, crafting, sensing the golden path that's going to get you through these crazy times. So you don't always have to know what to believe, but you can always choose who you serve. I think another piece that we're all working with is this very delicate balance between being part of the transformation that's going on without getting blown open by it or completely shut down. So we are all being called forward, and it doesn't matter if you're being called forward into a leadership role in your community, or you're just being called or you're being called forward into greater presence with your family. Whatever is your realm, whatever you've been given. Is it family? Is it a career? It's your location? It's the forest or the ocean or whatever is near you. That's yours to tend. And a lot of what we are, I feel like, navigating is this piece around, we do have to step forward. We are being asked to become more and to give more and to open for more to move through. That can get tripped up because especially a lot of women have this place inside of themselves where they feel like they have to be everything to everyone. They have to fix everything all the time in order to be safe. And that impulse towards being activated and stepping into be more a part of the solution can get a little distorted, where we blow out dispersing ourselves in too many directions and losing this sense of the wholeness and consolidation around what is our peace, right? So we are being asked to move forward, but a deep question is to ask and to know what is yours and what is not. What is mine to do here? No more, but also no less. If you have a family and children, what's yours to do right now is to raise them with as much love and presence as you can. You may not have the time and energy and resources for anything else, and any part of you that thinks that's not enough, I would suggest questioning. Right? There's this is kind of the refinement of our soul's journeys here. What is really ours? And some of us, all of us in a way, are being asked to be more, but that has to come from this place of nourishment, upwelling, and expanding, right? As soon as you start depleting, as soon as you start dispersing in a bunch of directions, you become a liability rather than a resource to the people that are around you. It's not a luxury to make sure that you are cycling energy and nourishment consistently and care into yourself and through your being, and letting that then overflow and pour forth. This is a necessity. It's how you become a part of the solution rather than more of the problem, right? It's how you become a place where nourishment, the milk, the honey, the wisdom can come forward and can overflow, and it's so needed. So one question is, really ask, what is yours? No more and no less. And what no more and no less means, you could get in your head about that, right? There's a way to get confused saying, what is mine? I don't know. And thinking about it here, right? Well, no, if you bring it down and think of yourself as an alchemical fire. This is very much the way that the creative impulse moves through woman, especially. It's in a transformative way. Woman takes in what's around her often. This is partly the metaphor and the reality of the womb, right? So she takes in what's around her, holds, gestates, nourishes, and gives it back. Reborn, born again, born at all, created for the first time, whatever. But this receiving and then releasing and offering out is a deep part of the female journey, the female psyche, and the female body. So when you understand that you are, in a way, what has to happen in order for you to kind of thrive in transformational times like this, is that your alchemical fire has to be like perfect, balanced. It has to be right. Meaning that you can't have too much fire or you're going to burn out. And you can't have too little or you're not going to have enough fuel to do what you need to do. So what that means is you can't feed your transformational fire with all these things that need to be transformed everywhere and just burn yourself out. It will kill you to do that. You are not made, not any single one of us is made to fix this, to understand it. Like, take the pressure off. You're in a mystery, and so am I, and so are all of us. We're not going to understand it fully ever. That can be a deep comfort. We're not going to fix it ever either. It's too complex. It's too complicated. This is life. So, what's yours? No more, no less. What does your alchemical fire need? Feel into that. What is it that makes you burn with heat and with aliveness and with yearning and desire and illumination? Right? What is it in the world that calls that forward out of you? This is part of that practice of understanding what of the many issues facing us are yours. What is it, right? There's so many different ways that you could go. And if you try to go more than one or two, you're not really going to be effective. So finding out what's yours has a lot to do with tuning into your inner fire and being able to see when you bring something to you, or a person to you, or a cause to you, or somebody's article that they wrote with their feelings about something, whatever you're bringing to you, notice, does it nourish your fire in a way that is, well, that's nourishing itself, that gives you something that makes you rise up, that rises up in you, and that wants to radiate out? Or does it piss you off, make you a little irritated? Does it pull on you? Like, can you feel it? Like it's too much? Do you feel, does it compress your own fire? Compress what's alive and alight in you? Is this making sense? It's like, this is an energetic conversation. It's not, the answers are not, especially now that things are so complicated, moving so fast and on so many levels, how intimate we are with things, as keeping it as simple as like, where's my fire right now? The intimacy with that is what is going to get us through this in a healthy way, and in a way that's going to bring us to, hopefully, relationships, situations, circumstances that reflect harmony, rather than consistently internalizing the disharmony that's around us. And part of that is balance. Part of that is really accepting that you cannot do it all. If you take on too much of what's going on right now, it will kill you. And that is not what anybody wants. And that is not what you're here to do. You are not here to be drowned out by the massive suffering. You're here to tend a fire, to tend a flame that lives inside of you, and from that flame to be a torch to your realm, to whatever is being given to you to tend. So, too much will annihilate and drown and burn out your torch. Too little won't give you enough fire to become an illumination, right? And that's how you know. It's like when you feel stagnant, when you feel uninvolved, when you feel checked out, that's when you don't have enough fuel for the fire. And you need a little bit more. You need to touch in to suffering somewhere. You need to touch into something, someplace where a need that is calling for a response from the mother, right? And then you need to join with that response to feed your fire so that you're alive here and radiant and burning with something. So, I think that's all I have. I thought we'd just see about finding a little bit of sanity, because I am aware of just how, here's my new catchphrase. The world is bewildered by its own transformation. So there's a chaos in that. There's a bewilderment and a confusion. And now, us being centered and us taking the time to carve out how we navigate, and how we navigate from a place that's true, is probably more crucial than it's ever been. It's always been important, but we're aware that we're facing some serious big stuff, and it's coming fast and hard, and we need each other, and we need simple things. So whether or not anything that I've just shared resonates with you, what I would invite you to do is to find some simple things that help you just come out of the confusion. Like, there's a lot of confusion, some of it intentionally created, that will keep you from tending a good flame and really being a light, a brightness, and a source of nourishment for yourself and others. And that's what's most wanted. I would say that's what I want for you and from you. I'd like to warm myself by you. I'd like to be able to look toward you when I'm confused and see that you're holding up a flame. I'd like to know that you have your own flame clear inside of you, so that I can rest knowing that you've got it. You've got yourself. You've taken the time, and you found your way, and you found those simple things that help you come home again. I love you. I hope this has served. There is nothing wrong with you. You didn't fail. You're doing enough. It's not your fault. And when you really feel those things, sometimes maybe let yourself become aware that all you're feeling is what we're all feeling right now. And if you just could let it be and not turn it in towards yourself, know that you're okay. And you do have what you need. You'll uncover it if you want to. Okay? Shining bright out there. I look forward to seeing you or knowing you or meeting you or just feeling you as we rise up in our best way all together. Blessed be.